What they're going to do? Right? Israel gets the kingdom, which is the rulership of this earth. Because we say it all the time when we say the Lord's Prayer. We say, "Thy will be done, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven." So we want things to be done on earth as it is in heaven. That means under the order of the Most High God. And Proverbs 29:2 says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." So right there is showing us that when we are ruling this earth in righteousness, the people are going to be rejoicing. When it's all said and done, it's a kingdom. You know what I mean? And we are responsible for that kingdom and running that kingdom. That kingdom is going to be policed and controlled and established by the children of Israel. You know what I mean? That's going to be our job. Just like today, we have the wicked. The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. Job 9:24. Right? The wicked rule this earth. So what do they rule it with? They rule it with military. They rule it with oppression. They rule it with vanity. And they rule this earth with propaganda and lies and greed. These are the things that run this earth, run this kingdom. Without these things, this kingdom won't exist. Right? Everything is based upon money and gain. Right? So, this is why you have a building called hospital that's not really in the business of really curing anybody. Right? It's just prolonging. They did a prolong. Right? Hospice is what somebody's waiting to what? To die, right? So they say to the hospital, right? And you gotta realize, why is this not called the healing center, right? Well, it's not really about that, right? Because the pharmaceutical industry, which the word pharmacy comes from a Greek word for witchcraft, right, is based upon prolonging death, for gain. So that's why they have all these cancer centers and all these places where, of course, there's cures for all these things. There's cures for AIDS. There's cures for a lot of these diseases that they come out with, because they do come out with the diseases. That's why they call it the CDC in Atlanta, right? The CDC, the Central Disease Center, right? Because they create diseases and they create antidotes and vaccines for these diseases. Is it on now? All right, hallelujah. Shalom to everybody logged in with a lot of Zion. I'm Minister Shalomar. This is Wednesday Wisdom, the water for logging on. We're going to get started. As always, we're going to start out with Psalms 67, giving praise to the Most High, thanking Him for giving us this time to come together and to learn of His way and His word and be edified through the words of the Heavenly Father. Throughout everybody logging on online, throughout everybody that's in transition right now, they haven't got here yet. Throughout for the brother that's here now, Brother Johnny, first time here, hallelujah. And we're going to get right into it. Tonight's class topic is Hanukkah preparation, preparing our mind, our spirit for Hanukkah. Because we're living in a time where, all these false, quote unquote, holidays, they try to get us indoctrinated with the holiday. They call it the holiday spirit. I call it the holiday demon, right? And we can't get caught up in that, because a lot of times they try to make Hanukkah an alternative to Christmas, when Hanukkah has nothing to do with Christmas, right? Christmas is a pagan holiday celebrated by the oppressor, celebrated by these nations, pushed by the wicked Catholic Church, and then was adopted by the wicked Christian Church. But we, coming out of wickedness and into righteousness, into the light of the Heavenly Father, know that we're not supposed to keep any of those things. That there's no Christmas, there's no New Year's, right? How does a New Year start in the middle of winter, right? That doesn't make any sense. Everything is dead, everything is cold, right? We serve a just power, a wise power, right? That gives us our New Year in the springtime, right? Our New Year is when the spring comes in. First moon of the spring. We're gonna go through these things. We're gonna get understanding. Again, I'm Minister Shalomar. This is the Light of Zion. This is Wednesday Wisdom. Throughout for logging on. At this point, I want to blow. I would hope the chauffeur, but I don't see the chauffeur in the midst of me right now. So I'm going to use the horn, all right? Because according to Scripture, we blow the horn to alert the people, right? I believe it's in Amos that says, "Shall a horn be blown in the city, and people be not afraid?" All right. So the horn was made to alert the people. So we're going to blow the horn. We're going to rise and face Jerusalem and send up the prayer that's written in Psalm 67, so we can get started and get in this word. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Psalm 67.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 67 and verse 1. O Most High, be merciful unto us, and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us, that thy way may be known upon earth, thy saving health among all nations. Let the people praise thee, O Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let all the people praise thee.
Hallelujah.
O let the nations be glad and sing for joy. For thou shalt judge the people righteously and govern the nations upon earth. Salah. Let the people praise thee, O Yahweh. Let all the people praise thee.
Hallelujah.
Then shall the earth yield her increase, and the Most High, even our own power, shall bless us. The Most High shall bless us, and all the ends of the earth shall fear him. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, Tawada Tamyad, Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. You shall be seated. All right. So all praises again to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua, for his name is worthy to be praised. And again, Minister Shalimar is the Light of Zion. This is Wednesday Wisdom. Our topic tonight is preparation for the Hanukkah. Getting in the spirit of Hanukkah, understanding why we celebrate Hanukkah. Hanukkah is not an alternative to Christmas. Hanukkah is not, there's a lot of festive things you see. Even Esau, when he took our records, our laws, he perverted even the Hanukkah. Because as you can see, it's also called a festival of lights. So we're going to get some understanding here. Let's get right into the word of the Most High, because there's so much scriptures that's floating in the air. We just got to start getting them out. So let's start with Colossians 3, verse 17. Let's start there and giving all praise to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the power and the Father by him.
Right. So all things we do in word or deed, we give thanks to the Most High in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Everything we do it in the name of Christ. The Most High has given us a son. A son was given unto us. And that son is the way, the truth, and the light. No man goeth to the Father but through him. Right. So we praise the Most High in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. So a little story before I go into scripture. Yesterday, we went to do the prison ministry. So of course now, be it that it's the so-called holiday season, it was packed full of so-called Christian and Catholics out there trying to go do a good deed for the new year. Now every week we're there. We didn't see all these people there, but there was a lot of them there yesterday. And this Catholic priest thought he was going to educate me on Christmas, on why I should celebrate Christmas. Right? I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't have a TV. I don't know. Right? Maybe he doesn't have YouTube. Maybe he's been under a rock, or maybe he was that arrogant to think that he was going to teach me something. Right? Because he saw my fringes and my borders, he should have just walked away. Right? But nevertheless, right, shows you that no matter what, these heathens, they want to establish their way. And we have to be the same way. We got to be very resilient in establishing the ways of the Most High. We can't be so quick to pipe down and be reserved or be hushed. This word is not to be hushed. This word is to be brought. The scriptures say we're supposed to raise it on high as a banner for our people. A banner is not put down low. A banner is put up high. Right? The Mashiach is supposed to be risen and shown like that serpent. Right, that healed us in the time of the wilderness, right? So him trying to tell me about Christmas, and I try to tell him, show me in the Bible where celebrate Christmas. Show me where Christ celebrate Christmas. Show me where the disciples celebrate Christmas. Show me somebody celebrating Christmas in the Bible, right? I said I can show you something about Christmas in the Bible, right? But he didn't want to see that because they're already they oh no, he don't want to open the Bible. You start saying, well, let's open the Bible. He's a Catholic priest. He doesn't want to open the Bible. He wants me to read some book of. But he told me read a book of Isaiah or some other book. Some you got to read that book and it tells you about celebrating the Lord on the Lord's day. I said, man, you a liar, man. I know he was kind of shocked that I called him a liar, right? But hey, what am I going to tell him, right? I got to tell you, so you're lying to the people. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to because we didn't have much time because we had to go upstairs and they control your time there. But I said, you're lying to the people. And you have to understand that. I'm not telling you that to disrespect you. I'm just letting you know that you're lying to the people. You know what I mean? With this Christmas crowd, right? Christ never commissioned Christmas. The Heavenly Father never commissioned any Christmas, right? And never was it ever any righteous of the Most High keeping this feast. But the wicked kept this feast, right? And that the party don't want us to open up the Bible and expose, all right? So that's just a little story from yesterday as we went to do the prison ministry. All right. You never know when you're going to get challenged in this word. And we have to be prepared at all times to give an answer. All right. Because if go ahead. That's right. That's right. We have to study and show ourselves approved. Right, onto the Most High, right? So we can nobody can shame you into Christmas. You couldn't shame me into keeping his pagan ritual, right? Because we know that's not of Yahweh. Okay. Shalom. All right, let's get into some verses. Give me 1 Peter 3:15. 1 Peter 3:15.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 15. But sanctify the Most High thy power in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer.
Be ready to do what?
Give an answer.
You always got to be always ready to give an answer. Sanctify the Most High in your heart. Set him apart. Sanctify him. And be ready to give an answer. Why? Because you're going to be challenged. Especially these times of the year. You're talking about, Christmas is of the devil. People are going to challenge you. They're going to be like, well, you don't celebrate the birth of Christ? What's wrong with you? I thought you believed in Christ. Right? But you say, I love Christ too much to celebrate this nonsense. But I know this is not of my Lord. This is not of my power. Read on.
To every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you.
Right. They're going to ask you, why are you like this? Why are you not celebrating Christmas? Why aren't you getting, the holiday spirit, the mistletoe, right? Why aren't you part of this? Where's your wreath? Where's your? They might even say, where's your joy? Because they might think you sad or you upset because you're not smiling and laughing with them right now, right? But to the wicked, they always seem your separation is always taken as misery. I'm gonna get the Apocrypha real quick. I'm going to show you something in the Apocrypha. Get the Wisdom of Solomon. The Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. It's 3:1.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High.
Right.
And there shall no torment touch them.
Come on.
In the sight of the unwise.
In the sight of who?
The unwise.
In the sight of the unwise.
They seemed to die.
We seem like we died. You used to be so cool. You used to be at the Christmas party. You know what I mean? You used to make the jokes. You made the eggnog. Right? Where you at now? You're not here. You know what I mean? You were so good. You was. When people talk about somebody was, that's like if you died, right? When you talk about somebody that was, that's somebody who passed away. Right? Damn, he was so cool. I'm standing right here, right? So you realize it seems to them like we died because we don't do this anymore. Read.
And their departure is taken for misery.
And their departure is taken for what?
For misery.
They think you miserable because you're not, full of folly, right? Like they're full of folly. You're not, fa la 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 around the place anymore, right? You don't do that anymore. Why? Because the Most High woke you up. But they're looking at you like, man, you look like you're miserable. Read on.
And they're going from us to be utter destruction.
And they're going from they're saying you leaving from what they're doing, man, you're destroyed, man. That thing that coach you in got you messed up. Read on.
But they are in peace.
But they're what?
Are in peace.
But they are in peace. And that's something that we can all attest for in this truth. There's no peace like shalom. Shalom is the best peace you can have, right? That's real peace. So we say shalom to one another. What we're giving each other is real peace, peace of mind, peace of spirit. We're not worried about it. We're not running the streets. We don't care what's happening out there. Who got shot? Who got knocked? Who got locked? That has nothing to do with us, right? Because we're in shalom. Shalom, that doesn't happen in shalom, all right? So even though we're in the same world, we're not of the same world because we're separated. And our separation for them seems like we fell apart. We're doing bad. But we're doing so good they don't even understand. Read on.
Verse 4.
For
though they be punished in the sight of men.
It's in the sight of men, it seems like, you're being punished, right? Now, if you're a young man, you're growing your beard out. Young lady, you're covering up your body. You used to be, all the things that they would compliment you for in this world, right? Now you're looking different. You're talking different, thinking different, all right? You're using different speech. Your words are different. You ain't cussing and carrying on. You may have done in the past, right? Your words are different. So for them, they're like, read that again. That last verse.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is there a hope full of immortality.
Our hope is full of immortality, man. That's the road we on. We on a road of immortality, not dying, man. All right, not dying in the spirit, man. Even if we have this fleshly body, man, we know our spirit live on, and we gonna inherit the next. We're not worrying about that. All right, a lot of our people think it's only this life. Without this life, there's nothing else. They're stressed. They're trying to do everything in this life. We preparing for the life to come. So whatever challenges that we get in this life, we take them on because we're preparing for the life to come. All right, let's read.
Verse 5. And having been a little chastised.
Having been what?
A little chastised.
Now we still gonna go through issues, even though we in this truth. Not everything is gonna go our way, right? Having been a little chastised, having to go through a little problems, even after you wake up to this truth, right? You still got bills. We still in captivity. You know what I'm saying? We still got things we have to come up against, things we have to overcome. All right, read on.
They shall be greatly rewarded.
We shall be what?
Greatly rewarded.
Even though we're going through some things, we're going to be greatly rewarded for what we go through. Right? Our people going through things with no reward after it. We going through things to be rewarded afterward. So our work is going to be rewarded. Read on.
For the Most High proved them.
He do what?
The Most High proved them.
The things we go through is to prove us. Right? To try us. To make sure that our integrity is intact, to make sure that we are strong. We don't know you're strong until you put under some weight. That's how you know when you're strong, right? Because now you have to bear this weight. All right, read on.
And found them worthy.
And found us what?
Worthy for himself.
So meaning the things we go through, the weights we carry, if we carry them and overcome them, we'll be found worthy of, the kingdom. Worthy of all the promises that was promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If we're found worthy, if we don't allow ourselves to be overcome. So we have a far greater treasure in accomplishing, staying right, staying in the spirit, making righteous decisions. We have a lot more to gain. Read on.
As gold In the furnace hath he tried them,
right?
and received them as a burnt offering.
And receive us as a what?
Burnt offering.
Right. So not only we in the fire, we got to go through this fire. We got to get a little burnt too. We got to be received of the Most High as a burnt offering, right? So we ain't just gonna go. We gonna feel. What does that fire represent? What is a fire? What is that fire? You know what it is. But I need chapter and verse.
Sirach 2:1.
There it is. Give me Sirach 2:1. Let's see what that fire is. Let's get that fire.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state.
Right.
For gold is tried in the fire.
Come on.
And acceptable men.
And what kind of men?
Acceptable men.
And acceptable men and women. Read on.
In the furnace of adversity.
In the furnace of adversity. So what is that fire? What is the fire? Adversity. Issues and problems and situations. Right? That's what we getting tried on. How are we going to deal with these issues and problems and situations? And if we deal with them correctly, according to the Spirit of the Most High, we are found worthy. We're found worthy of the blessings. Right? So this is the battle. Right? This is the battle. Right now we're in the Apocrypha. I'm sure you know, because you gotta. I wonder where we was at, right? I gotta help you out with the Apocrypha. So we're in what? Tell me the page you on.
We still read Sirach?
Yeah, right. What you just read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. This is page 71.
Page 71. Yeah, we're on page 71. Yeah. So, and we about to flip. It seems like we're going into Apocrypha a couple of times right now, because we about to go to Second Esdras. So that's page 23 for you, brother. Page 23. We go there. Second Esdras 7 and 56. Second Esdras 7 verse 56.
This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 56. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
Come on.
Then answered he me and said,
what did he say?
This is the condition of the battle.
This is the what?
The condition of the battle.
This is the condition of the battle. We all have a battle to go through. Right? Read on.
Which a man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Man that's born upon the earth shall fight. I mean, we're all born on the earth. Right? None of us born in space, right? In outer space. So we all got to fight. If you ain't fighting, you losing. Either you fighting or you losing. So we have to put up a resistance. There's always going to be opposition. We have to be prepared for that. Don't get weary with that. Don't get tired of it. But take it on. All right. Matter of fact, encourage it. Right. Get used to winning. Right. Get used to having the answer. The Most High blessing us. All right. We turn back to him. He's blessing us with his word, with his instruction. We have nothing to fear. All right. We have, this word is laid up before us. We have to think of an answer ourselves. We just have to find a chapter and verse, right? On why do we do and what we do. And when they ask a question, I'm going to go chapter and verse, man. I'm not going to match wits with you and try to play this game and talk in circles. Let's go to chapter and verse. Let's see why I don't celebrate Christmas and you do. All right. Read on.
Verse 58.
That
if he be overcome,
right,
he shall suffer as thou hast said.
If we be overcome, we're going to suffer. Read on.
But if he get the victory,
but if we win, get used to winning. Read on.
He shall receive the thing that I say.
What is that?
For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived.
What did he tell us?
Saying, choose thee life and thou mayest live.
That thou mayest live. Choose thee life that thou mayest live. So we chose life. That's why we chose not to deal with the oracles and the ways of death. Right? The wages of sin is what? It's death. So we're going to back off sin. We got a problem with sin. We're going to back off of sin. We don't want to sin. Right? We don't celebrate Christmas. We're not falling for this fake New Year's because we're not going to sin. All right. Give me Jeremiah the 10th chapter in the first verse. Jeremiah 10 verse 1. Now I know this is Hanukkah preparation. The first thing I can do before I prepare us for Hanukkah is to tear away anything else that might be trying to get in our minds and our spirit. Anybody trying to uh, seduce us into any kind of holiday spirit, right? Because it's hard. We got to break out of it because we might say, "Yeah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in no Christmas." And they're buying the eggnog that we buy every year at this time. No, the hell with Christmas. Let me get that eggnog. Yeah, that one. No, the one you have for the top. Only this time of the year you have it. That's the one we want, right? The Southern Comfort one, right? With the red bottle, with the red on the gold on the bottle. I know what bottle you want to go get. You want to get the Southern Comfort because they only sell it this time of the year, right? So we got to break out of these things, right? All year, the only turkey you ate was a sandwich. But every November, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but I just feel like, making a turkey, right? Why are you making a turkey this year? What are you doing? It's in your spirit. It's in your mind. It's deep in your subconscious. We have to break out of that. Yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, but I just feel like I gotta put lights up, right? So you got a string of lights. They're not gonna be colorful lights. It's gonna be one color because I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm just gonna put white lights all over my house. Yeah. Why you got white lights all over your house? What are you celebrating? It's in your spirit because you feel like you got to be celebrating something because everybody else is celebrating something. The way the festival of lights is celebrated, which is the Hanukkah, is we light a menorah for 8 days. No, we don't light one candle each day, right? That's the white man's tricks, right? He made that up. No, we don't give gifts for 8 days, right? That's him trying to substitute it for Christmas, right? We light the whole menorah for all 8 days. How many candles in the menorah? 7. You're going to see menorahs out there with what? 9, right? Why does the menorah have 9 candles when the Most High said it's supposed to have 7, right? These are questions. What does the 7 candles represent? Anybody know? What does that represent? Get Revelations. 7 what? What you say? First, let's get Revelations 1 and verse 12. 13.
Well, you can start at 12.
I can start at 12. Why not?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And I turned to see the voice that spake with me.
Right. So this is John the Revelator on the island of Patmos, and Christ is speaking to him, and he turns to see Christ. Read on.
And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
What he saw?
7 golden candlesticks.
No, 9.
7 golden candlesticks.
He saw 7 golden candlesticks. What did he see? What is that? What does it represent? A menorah. This is a menorah, right? So what he saw when he turned to see Christ was a menorah. Because this is from the Most High. Okay? This is from the Most High. Give me Revelations 4 and verse 6. Revelations 4, verse 6.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 4 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And before the throne, there was a sea of glass like unto crystal.
So now you're looking up into the heavens, John the Revelator, and he's seeing the Most High. And he said before the Most High's throne, there was a sea of glass, it seemed like. A see-through barrier, Right? Read on.
And in the midst of the throne
Uh-huh.
and round about the throne
Come on.
were four beasts,
Uh-huh.
full of eyes before and behind.
Right. So these four beasts look like they were full of eyes, mean they had light illuminating all around them. Right? This is the angels. Read on.
And the first beast was like a lion,
Uh-huh.
and the second beast like a calf,
Come on.
and the third beast had a face as a man,
Mm.
and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle,
Mm-hmm.
and the four beasts had each
It's
of
like, where
them.
you at?
Revelations 4 and 6.
It's like, jump down. Revelations 5 and 6. So
5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5 and verse 6.
Right.
And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the four beasts.
So now we're talking about those same four beasts in the midst of the throne where the Most High sat. Read on.
And in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain.
Right, a lamb that has been slain. Who's that? Christ. Right. So he's seen a vision in the heavens. He see the Ancient of Days. He see the four beasts, and he see the lamb that has been slain. Read on.
Having 7 horns.
Having what?
7 horns.
Having what?
7 horns.
7 horns. Read on.
And 7 eyes.
And 7 eyes. Read on.
Which are the 7 spirits.
Which are the what?
The 7 spirits.
Which are the 7 spirits. Read on.
Of the Most High.
Of the what?
Of the Most High.
Of the Most High. This represents the 7 spirits of the Most High. This is why you can't have 9. And you can't play with this because this comes from the Most High. Right? We can't make it whatever we want it to be. Right? Some simple Negroes took the menorah and said, you know what, we're going to have Kwanzaa with this. And they made up 7 attributes of something, right? Why not we just do what the Father told us? Why not we just be obedient to his word? Right? We're not falling for Kwanzaa. We don't care if a black person made it. Black people did a lot of wickedness, right? It's just another wicked thing that we have done, right? So we're going back to righteousness. So it represents the 7 spirits. Read on.
Sent forth into all the earth.
Sent forth where?
Into all the earth.
Sent forth into all the earth. Okay. So we know that these 7, it's not just a candlestick, it's a representation of what goes on in the heavens and the 7 spirits that's before the Most High. See if I can even go a little, since we're going there, I'm going a little deeper into the 7 spirit. Hold on a second. So we understand that this is not something that is man-made, man-created. This is all from a spirit of obedience, And this is why, Esau comes up with this custom of lighting 1 candle a day and all these things. That's not of the Most High. There's no scripture that says that. That didn't happen. But all 7 candles were lit all the 8 days as we rebuilt our temple that was returned to us, through battle. We fought for it. It wasn't given to us. We fought for it. All right. I'm looking for a particular verse that goes into the 7. Hold on. I don't remember where it's at. It'll come back to me. Right. So go back now. Let's get Jeremiah. Huh? Oh. So we have on the board here. These are what you would see out there on top of the cars, or they have it on the back of the yeshivas, and they have 9, right? Talking about this is a festive menorah, right? They have the nerve to call it a menorah. That's not a menorah. 9 candles is not a menorah, right? This is fake. This is false, right? This is because they're not the children of Israel. They create these things, right? And these customs that are not upheld by the Most High. Okay, not upheld by the Most High at all. Okay. All right. So let's get Jeremiah. Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, first verse. So now this is Hanukkah preparation, but we first got to tear away all these seducing spirits, right? And prepare to keep the Hanukkah the way it's meant to be kept, the way the Most High told us to keep it, not the way Esau keep it, or he tried to pervert it and make it his own, and then end up messing the whole thing up. Got you go and get. They made it into 8 Christmases, right? You're supposed to get presents every day, right? They got the children. A gift destroys the heart. So they got the children. They take people's mind. They seduce them with gifts, and got them following their festivities. But that's not of Yahweh. All right. Yes, you're going to celebrate. We're going to talk about decorations. We're going to talk about all these things and how to celebrate it. Right. But we first have to tear away these ideas, all these Christmassy ideas out of our minds. All right. All right. Let's read that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Mm-hmm. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen,
right?
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven,
right?
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right. So don't learn their ways, and do not be dismayed, mean confused by the signs of heaven. Don't be astonished by the things you see in the skies. When it says the signs of heaven, it's talking about looking up at the stars, comets, asteroids, zodiacs, things of that sort. These are what the heathens look towards. They look to the stars and they're dismayed by them. All right, read on.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Right.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Come on.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
With what?
With silver and with gold.
So they take a tree out of the forest and they deck it with silver and gold. It means they decorate it with silver and gold. What does this sound like? This sounds like the same customs of Christmas, right? Every year we see all the trucks come down. They set up these little tents and they celebrate they have a bunch of trees that they brought down from the north, these pine trees, and try to sell it to the people. They bring it into their house and they put decorations on it. Read on.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
Right. They fasten it with nails and hammers because it didn't grow in their house, so it doesn't fall over. Read on.
That it move not.
Uh-huh.
They are upright as the palm tree.
Come on.
But speak not.
But they speak not. What does that mean, they speak not? What does that mean, they speak not? Huh? That's right. It's a dumb idol. Right? It's a dumb idol. That's all it is. It has no power. Okay? It does nothing but sit there in your house. Right? And cause a house fire. Right? That's all it's going to do. All right. So it's dumb. Speaketh not mean there's no power in it. A lot of our people, the Most High always talked about us giving our power over to dumb idols. The word dumb means that it cannot speak, it cannot do anything, right? But we give our power to dumb idols. When we have a real living power, Yahweh, we want to give our strength to a dumb idol, something that can't do anything, right? Like any kind, like a rock. Some people, they worship in a rock. They worship in something an inanimate object, all right? So he made sure that, he said it speak not, meaning that there's no power in it. It cannot do anything, right? Read.
Slakia. Verse 5. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go.
Mm-hmm.
Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
Right. Don't be afraid of it. It's just a tree. Right? Don't make it into people, that tree. I don't want to walk past it. Right? It's like it's a demon on the tree. There's no demon. He says just a tree. Don't make it out to be more than it is. The Most High made all the trees. The ones cut down and the ones standing. Right? He said, that's my tree. That's a tree. That's all it is. It can't do good. It can't do evil. It's just a tree. Right? But we're not, it's the custom the problem. The tree is not the problem. The tree is a tree. But the custom is a problem. You have people afraid of a pine tree now, right? Because, oh no, that reminds me of Christmas. It's just a tree. But it can do no good in this custom. Right? The custom is the issue. Read on.
Verse 6. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Most High, thou art great, and thy name is great in might.
That's right. There's nothing like the Most High. His name is great and mighty. Nothing like unto him. Okay? One power, Yahweh. Everything else is just false. Dumb idols, false gods, per se. Right? Because what's that tree associated with? Associated with what? Santa Claus, right? With some superpower, some false god, right? Right? They want to leave milk and cookies, right? I think it was Michael Jackson's song. He sung his mama kissing Santa Claus, right? Going off. She was going off, right? Your mama was going off. That's what was happening, right? So understand that these things are attached to dumb idols, to false gods. Give me Psalms 96, I believe it is, and 4.
Come on. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 4.
What did I say?
Verse 5.
Maybe verse 5? What did I say? Yeah.
Verse 5.
Okay.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
Oh, what?
All the gods of the nations are idols.
So all their fairy tales, like as for instance, just during this year, you got snowman. That's another god, right? That's another idol, right? That's false. You got Jack Frost. You have Santa Claus. You have all these different things that's associated. You got reindeer. You got deers running through the sky. All kind of foolishness going on, right? Red nose, bright. This is all madness. Elves making toys somewhere in the North Pole, right? That's all straight madness, right? Straight madness. But listen, it's been engrafted in us for so long. We have to cut all these ties to this kingdom, to our spirit, right? Cut them all, right? The festive sweaters, but what is it? All this clothing comes out, with red and green. All of a sudden, you feel like you want to wear red and green, right? Because why am I wearing red and green today? Oh yeah, you didn't wear red and green, but this time of the year, you know what? Them green pants look really good with them red sneakers, right? Why is that? Because it's in your spirit. These things that you have to notice, and you have to cut it out of your spirit, right? Read.
For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Most High made the heavens.
Right, the Most High made the heavens. He's the real power. Right. Also, give me Psalms 86 and 8. 86 verse 8. Psalms 86 verse 8.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 86 and verse 8.
Come on.
Among the gods, there is none like unto thee.
That's right. Amongst the gods is none like Yahweh. Read on.
O Most High.
Come on.
Neither are there any works like unto thy works.
Right. These guys haven't done anything. There is no elves. They didn't make any toys. There's no house in the North Pole. None of these things actually happened. This is all fables and foolishness. Read on.
All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee.
And all these nations that think they're not going to be able to do this in the kingdom. They get away with this stuff right now, but in the kingdom, all that going to be shut down. They're all going to have to worship the Most High. All right? For everything from Buddha to Krishna to Allah, the copperstone, it's all going in the bottom of the sea. We're going to destroy all of it. We're going to light it up with fire. Right? It's going to be one power to serve, which is Yahweh. Everybody understand that? Read on.
And shall glorify thy name.
And they're going to glorify his name. Read.
For thou art great, and doest wondrous things.
Mm-hmm.
Though thou art the Most High alone.
That's right. Thou art the Most High alone. There's no other power with you. All right. There's one power, one God, one faith, one baptism. The Bible tells us, right? All right. Occurred. Right. We always say Shema Yahshua Yahweh Lahayanahu Yahweh occurred. That means, hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh is one. One power. Right? All these other things is false. They're dumb. They have no power in them. All right. So this is why we do not celebrate any custom that associates with these dumb gods and these false powers. Right? Sure. Let's look at that. Deuteronomy
12 and 39. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12, and verse 29. When the Most High thy power shall cut off the nations from before thee,
right?
whether thou goest to possess them,
Mm-hmm.
and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their land,
Mm-hmm.
take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
Right. Don't be snared by following their ways and their customs. Read on.
After that they be destroyed from before thee,
Uh-huh.
and that thou inquire not after their gods.
He said, don't even inquire. Don't even ask about their gods. Don't ask how their God did this. You know, why you guys do that. You know how we want to be all, questioning and trying to find out. And you want to find out what the Hindus are doing or what Buddhists do. Right? You know, the yin and the yang and all that. He said, don't even ask. There's no need for it. You don't need to know that. Right? Right? Uh-huh.
And what the trees provide for humanity.
Exactly. Yep.
They're cutting down all these trees that, they're taking the trees away from their original purpose.
Exactly.
And at the same time doing something so horrible.
Vain. Like I said, a lot of the stuff in this world is built off of vanity. How something looks. Has no purpose. It's just how it looks. We do so much just for the eye. The lust of the eye, the Bible calls, right? And the pride of life, the lust of the eye. Oh, look, I want to make it look this way. Forget about the fact that it's going to cause all kind of environmental impacts that we're all going to have to deal with later on. Don't worry. It looks nice though, right? This is how this. So you're starting to understand the difference between our kingdom and this kingdom. The kingdom of the Most High is not like that. It's not full of vanity and things for worthless, things that have no value, right? But the beholding of it. After you behold it, now what? Right? What does it do? Right? You just say,
I was gonna say this go back to Deuteronomy 32 when the Most High said that he was gonna take a foolish nation.
of course.
Because Esau now is a kingdom that's ruling right now.
That's right.
But he is cutting off his air supply and killing himself.
Killing his own damn self.
He don't even realize it
Right.
because he's so full to try to run after vanity.
Exactly. Vanity, greed, right? They want everything to be fast. So they produce everything and then take all the nutrients food-wise, right? GMO, right? They create all this GMO food. It grow like this. You ain't got to wait. Plant it in the seed, go all right, walk back. It's grown already. You eat it. You felt like you ate something, but your body got nothing. There's no minerals. There's no vitamins. There's nothing in that food. It's void of anything. It's fake, right? But we don't. For him, it's satisfying because he gets to grow his crop faster, gets in the supermarket faster, which gets him his money faster, right? You go eat it. You felt like you ate something, right? To him, it's a win-win all the way around. But at the end of the day, we have this problem and that problem with our bodies. Our bodies are not operating correctly. Why? Because what is it missing? I eat good food. What's going on? Take another look at that food. Is it good food? All right? So now you say, so now you got Esau both of them is in the same. They're arguing with each other. One got organic. One has got GMO. You know what I mean? They divided against their own selves, right? What? No, we keep our head uncovered during service, right? Right. It's cold in here. I do have the AC. Is it cold in here? All right. Yeah. The spirit be going. The fire be lit. I don't know what's going on. I'll turn the AC off because it is kind of cold outside. Hold on. Hallelujah. Yeah, he said, put a hat on in here. All right. Minister going off. But, all right. My sister ain't even tell me no. You better tell me straight. That's cold, brother. So you good. Okay, you prepared for my AC. All right. So let's read on. Read on in Deuteronomy.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, how did these nations serve their gods?
Right.
Even so will I do likewise.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 31.
That's what you're going to end up doing. You find out too much, you're going to want to copy that. Damn, that sounds cool. I want to try that myself, right? Now you in sin. Read on.
Verse 31.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy power.
He said, thou shalt not do so unto Yahweh. Who you disrespected? The Most High. Right? You might say you ain't bothering nobody, but you bothering the Most High right now. Right? When you partake in that Christmas dinner, you bothering the Most High. Right? You bother him. You might be making your family happy, but you making the Most High upset. Right? And you don't want to anger the Most High. Read on.
For every abomination to the Most High, which he hated, have they done unto their gods.
Uh-huh.
For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods.
Right.
What thing soever I command you, observe to do it.
Everything he command us, observe and do it. Read on.
Thou shalt not add thereto.
Thou shalt not what?
Add to.
Don't be adding to the Bible. Just like I told you that Catholic priest trying to tell me I got to read some other book to find out how we supposed to celebrate Christmas and how they celebrate the birth of Christ. No, they didn't. The Bible never told us that. Bible never told us that. What book are you sending me to? The Bible says don't add to the Bible. Yeah, none shall want its mate. Okay. So we're not supposed to add anything or diminish anything from this Bible. We're not supposed to take away nothing or add anything to it. All right?
Well, I thought about the fact that they say that Jesus was born in December.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's even an add to the Bible. When did the Bible say that?
You read the scripture, it says that the shepherds were in the field.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's already.
It's got to be in the springtime. All right, we understand that. We just do. And we also know this. If the Most High wanted us to know exactly when Yahweh Shai was born, he would have put in a book. He'd have put in a book. It wouldn't be no grave mystery. We wouldn't have to go find out. If he wanted us to know, it would have been in the text. So things that's omitted from the text are omitted for a reason. Because he doesn't want us to be what? Distracted by something that everything in this, it said all scripture is profitable for doctrine and for reproof and for instruction in righteousness. Everything that's written in this Bible is to help us fully form us in righteousness. Is there other information that's not there? Of course there is. Everything that didn't happen. When you read the Bible, how many years you reading about? You're reading about thousands of years. So of course other things took place that's not in the Bible, right? But dude, is it our concern? It's not our concern. Our concern is salvation. Our concern is not knowing everything, right? It's salvation. So a lot of people spend a lot of times like was it Jeopardy or trivia, right? Trying to get all kind of information that is that is unprofitable to our salvation. Unprofitable. All right. So this is why these things have been omitted from the Bible. This is why it doesn't tell us exactly when Christ was born, right? And we don't need to know that, because if we need to know it for our salvation, it would have been there. Read.
Nor diminish from it.
Nor diminish, nor take anything from the Bible. Read on.
It's going into the next chapter.
Okay, so that's it on that. All right, so we not to add nor take away from the word of the Most High. So now, I think we've pretty much crushed the idea of dealing with any of these pagan holidays and the spirit that comes with them. So now let's look into the book of the Maccabees in the Apocrypha. Let's understand what we're about to celebrate on Friday. Friday at even is a Hanukkah celebration. And we're going to have it in a hall. We're not going to have it here. It's going to be in a hall. Did they ever post the address to that hall? Okay. We're going to have it in the hall nearby. The address will be on the WhatsApp. We'll put it out there on the YouTube and things of that sort so we all know. I guess we're going to solidify it, but it's going to be in a hall. That's not too far from here. And we're going to have a celebration. All right, the dedication. Dedicating the temple of the Most High is nothing new to us. This Hanukkah, it's not the first time we dedicated the temple. Dedicating the temple is something that we always did. We dedicated to the Most. Give me Numbers 7, verse 84 before we get Maccabees. Give me Numbers 7 and 84. Number 7, verse 84.
This is the book of Numbers.
7 and verse 84.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 7 and verse 84.
Uh-huh.
This was the dedication of the altar.
Right.
And the day when it was anointed by the princes of Israel.
Uh-huh.
12 chargers of silver, 12 silver bowls, 12 spoons of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Each charger of silver weighing 130 shekels.
Right. So what we were doing was dedicated the altar in our tabernacle. So we always dedicated the temple in different ways. Give me Ezra, the book of Ezra 6 and 16 in the Bible. Ezra 6 and 16. Matter of fact, first give me 6 and 5, then you jump down to 16 in the book of Ezra.
So 6 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 5.
Come on.
And also let the golden and silver vessels of the house of the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
which Nebuchadnezzar took forth out of the temple.
Right. So Nebuchadnezzar and his rulership, they desecrated our temple. All right. Babylonian captivity. So now when we got out of the Babylonian captivity, what's the first thing we did? We went and took our stuff back. Read on.
Which is at Jerusalem,
Uh-huh.
and brought unto Babylon,
Come on.
be restored and brought again unto the temple which is at Jerusalem.
We brought it back to the temple that was in Jerusalem. This is something we did. Anytime these heathens would come and try to desecrate our temple, our place of worship, and we would get an opportunity to get back there and conquer and come out of that captive state. All right. We would go back to our temple and clean our temple back up and get it back right so we could serve our God. Read on.
Every one to his place,
Mm-hmm.
and place them in the house of the Most High.
Right.
Now, therefore, Tatnai,
Jump down to 16 verse.
verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites,
Right.
and the rest of the children of the captivity,
Uh-huh.
kept the dedication of this house of the Most High.
Did what?
Kept the dedication of this house of the Most High with joy.
Right. So this is all before the actual Hanukkah. So we had feasts of dedications. We have dedicated the temple of the Most High numerous amount of times in our history. Okay. Coming out of different captivities, ready to reestablish our temple, and we dedicated it, right? So this is nothing new. Some people might say, well, that's in the Apocrypha. It's not in the Bible. They don't know if they should keep the feast of dedication. We always dedicated our temple. Okay, this is something that we do. We've done it from the time of Numbers. Matter of fact, give me Second Chronicles 7:1. Second Chronicles 7:1.
This is the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Come on.
Now, when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven
Right.
and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the glory of the Most High filled the house.
Right. Come on.
And the priest could not enter into the house of the Most High because the glory of the Most High had filled the Most High's house.
Right. So the angel of the Most High came down upon the temple was Solomon built. Right, because Solomon built the first temple, onto the Most High. Before we had a tabernacle that we moved throughout, the wilderness. It was a temporary temple, right, that was made to deconstruct and construct and move from place to place. But now Solomon made that first concrete temple that's not going to be moved, right? And the Spirit of the Most High came down upon this temple when he completed it. Read on.
And when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down and the glory of the Most High upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement.
Come on.
And worshiped and praised the Most High, saying, For he is good, for his mercy endureth forever.
Come on.
Then the king and all the people offered sacrifices before the Most High. And King Solomon offered a sacrifice of 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep.
Come on.
So the king and all the people dedicated the house of the Most High.
So the king and all the people dedicated the house of the Most High. So to show you that this is historically what we do. So that's when the temple was first being built, we dedicated. When we got it back, we dedicated. Even went back to, in Numbers, that was the tabernacle, that was that mobile temple, and we dedicated that. So it's nothing new to dedicate. So this feast of dedication, which is called a Hanukkah, is a feast of dedication. All right. It's a customary of our people to dedicate the temple, right? St. John 10:22. Christ himself kept the dedication. He didn't keep Christmas, right? He didn't keep his. He wasn't like disciples get together, get the drinks. It's my birthday. Let's turn up, right? I wish I turned up for Christmas. He ain't turned up for Christmas. He kept the dedication. Read.
This is the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22.
Come on.
And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication.
The what?
The feast of the dedication.
So the feast of the dedication was at Jerusalem. Why? Because where's the temple at? In Jerusalem, right? That's where we used to go to the temple, was in Jerusalem. So that's why the feast of dedication was in the temple. So we had a feast of dedication. Of course, at this point, they're keeping the feast of dedication that's written about in Maccabees, and we're about to read about it. All right, read on.
And it was winter.
And it was winter, right? What season are we in? So we're not making up when it's supposed to be kept. We're keeping the feast of dedication in the wintertime. It is winter. So we're doing it in the right season, at the right time, according to as it is written. So let me ask you, before we go into the Maccabee story, where's the temple now? We are the temple, right? We are the temple of the Most High. Let's get that understanding. 1 Corinthians 3:16.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High?
Don't you know that you the temple? So now we can't go, we're not looking, this is why we can hold the feast of dedication. We don't have to go to Jerusalem. Because that temple in Jerusalem right now, I don't think we want to go over there, right? Because it's in the hand of the so-called white man. Lord knows what kind of foolishness he got going on in there, right? All right, what's that? They're building another temple. They're doing all kind of stuff. They're in the land just doing whatever they want to do, right? But we have to understand that these places were the temple because we were in these places. We made it the temple. It would not be the temple without us. So whatever they got going on in Jerusalem is not the temple because we're not there. Everybody understand that? Because the Most High said, what does he say he dwell in the? Give me Joel. You know what I want. 2:27, book of Joel. Right? Where is the Most High dwell? Read.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 27.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel,
Right.
and that I am the Most High, your power, and none else.
And who else?
And none else.
So he ain't in the midst of nobody else but the Israelites. So we are the temple because just like we read in Solomon that the Spirit of the Most High filled the courts, he fills us, right, with his Spirit. So now we know we're the temple. So wherever we at in the world, we can keep the feast of dedication, right? Because we are the temple. So what we're dedicating is ourselves. Everybody understand that? We're dedicating ourselves. So go back to 1 Corinthians. You said 3 and 16 and 17.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3 and verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of God,
Read.
and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you?
Come on.
If any man defile the temple of the Most High,
Right.
him shall the Most High destroy.
Right. So we ain't supposed to do anything with our temple that's going to defile our temple. Just like they defiled our temple before, we had to rededicate it. Right. What did they do? How did they defile our temple? They put swine's flesh on our altar. They were having orgies in the temple. Right. All these things was going down, and Esau took one in our temple and did all kind of madness in our temple. Right. To totally to defile it. This is why we don't defile our temple. So we got to make sure our temple is pure, that we're using it the way the Most High intended. Get Ephesians 2 and 21. Matter of fact, start with 20.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 2 and verse 20.
It's like 19. He said a lot right here.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners,
Right.
but fellow citizens with the saints,
Right.
and of the household of the Most High,
Come on.
and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, Hamashiach Yahushua himself being the chief cornerstone.
So now you're built upon the foundation of what? The apostles and the prophets. So where did you learn the things that you do and don't do? You learn it from the word of the Most High, from the words that's given to us through the prophets, through the apostles. That's your foundation of understanding. All right. Read on.
In whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto in the holy temple.
A what temple?
In the holy temple.
Read.
In the Most High.
Come on.
In whom ye also are builded together for an habitation.
For a what?
An habitation.
What's a habitation to anything? To a person, to an animal? What's a habitation? Where you dwell, where you live, right? So now when we come together, we are a habitation to what? Read on.
Of the Most High.
Of what?
Of the Most High.
We are a habitation of the Most High. So when we come together, we are the temple of the house and where the Most High habitates. He's in the midst of us. So this is how powerful us coming together is, right? That when we come together in the Spirit of the Most High dwells in the midst of us. This is what he requires of us, for us to come together. Wherever we are, whatever country we are, whatever state, whatever part of the globe that we are. Read.
Through the Spirit.
Through the Spirit, right? So how does he habitate through us? Through our spirit. He pours his Spirit onto us. He said he will not leave us comfortless. He will come to us, right? What's the comforter? The Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit dwells. It's how the Most High dwells with us. So we understand that we are to be dedicating ourselves as a body, as coming together in the sight of the Most High. That's what the Feast of Dedication is about. All right. We're going to read about the historical dedication that allows us to know how many days, how to celebrate it. But what are we celebrating? We're celebrating our relationship with the Most High. Okay. We're celebrating, as the Most High told us, to gather ourselves together. Okay. This is what we're celebrating when we come together. Okay, so we are his dwelling place. He dwells within us. All right. Also, give me Mark, book of Mark 14 and 58. Mashiach Yahushua referred to your vessel, your body, his body as a temple. Okay, to show you that a temple is where we all can gather. Who's gathering? The Most High, the angels. Your spirit is all within your vessel. All right, read that. 14 and 58.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 14 and verse 58. We heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands. And within 3 days, I will build another made without hands.
Right. So Yahushua will let him know, listen, this temple here, I'm going to destroy it. Right. And I'll build it back up in 3 days. I mean, he's talking about what? Him going into the grave, him died and coming back. To let us know this body is a temple. Right. Mashiach is, our chief cornerstone. So he's telling us how this vessel works and what it's capable of. Okay. Also give me Psalms 27 verse 4.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 27 and verse 4.
Come on.
One thing have I desired of the Most High, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Most High all the days of my life,
right?
To behold the beauty of the Most High and to inquire in his temple.
And to do what?
Inquire in his temple.
So he dwell in the house of the Most High all the days of his life. That means he not go outside? No. That means we're in his household of the Most High in the spirit. Wherever we go, we're with the Father is with us and we are with him. All right. So this is an understanding that David had, right? That the Father is with him wherever he may go. All right. That was 27 and 4, right? All right. Also give me Psalms 11 and 4.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 11 and verse 4. The Most High is in his holy temple.
Right.
The Most High's throne is in heaven.
Right.
His eyes behold, his eyelids try.
Come on.
The children of men.
Come on.
The Most High trieth the righteous.
Read.
But the wicked in him that loveth violence, his soul hateth.
Right.
Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and in horrible tempests.
Come on.
Tempests, lucky. This shall be the portion of their cup. For the righteous of the Most High loveth righteousness. His countenance doeth behold the upright.
Right. So for the righteous of the Most High, he loved to give us righteousness. All right. So that's how we're going to live. We're going to live in the midst of righteousness because we are following after his ways. All right. So now let's go to the book of Maccabees. So we got a full understanding that we're dedicating what? Ourselves. We're not dedicating any building. You know what I mean? We have this temple here that we gather together, but it's only a temple because we're here. And if we're somewhere else, then the temple is over there. All right. So this is just a building. All right. We know the Most High says he don't dwell in buildings made by man's hands. All right. Who does he dwell within us, within our spirit? So Maccabees 1 and 1. First Maccabees 1 verse 1.
This is the book of First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim,
right,
had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece,
right,
and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
All right. So who is this person? This is Alexander. You might have learned of him in your history classes, Alexander the Greek. You used to call him Alexander the Great. Right? This is Alexander the Great that's talking about. how when he came into power, he slew Darius. Darius was the king of the Persian and the Medes. The Persian and Medes allowed us to reestablish our temple under their rulership, right? This is what you read about in Habakkuk. You read about this in Zephaniah. You read about it in Zechariah, right? That we are establishing our temple under the Persian and Medes because the Babylonians destroyed our temple. All right. So some people kept in captivity to destroy our temple, and in some captivities they allowed us to rebuild our temple. Here comes the Greeks. That's right, the Greeks, the worst of the worst. Right? It gets no worse than the Greeks. Here comes the Greeks, and they ain't gonna let us have our temple. Right? Matter of fact, they won't even let us serve our God. Matter of fact, they will kill us for keeping the Sabbath day holy. All right, let's jump down to the 41st verse. So Alexander the Greek rose into power, but then his kingdom split up into 4 kingdoms. Out of the 4, another one rose up. His name was Antiochus Epiphanes. He was as powerful as Alexander the Great. When Antiochus got into power, look what he had to say. Read that.
This is verse 41.
Mhm.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his kingdom
Uh-huh.
that all should be one people,
Right?
and every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right?
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
So what does this mean? All should be one kingdom and leave their own customs. Does that sound familiar? Huh? One world order. The same thing that we're under right now. They want everyone to be what? Christian. That's the one world order, right? We're right looking for the one world order. You're in the midst of the one world order right now. Christianity and democracy is the one world order. It's not something new coming. There's no new thing going to be put. Christianity and democracy is what he's going over the whole earth and is trying to establish everywhere. All right? Christianity is the quickest growing and the largest religion in the earth. Okay? There's Chinese people, there's East Indian people, there's people down in the Congo in Africa talking about Jesus Christ, right? And they're Christian. Everybody's a Christian. Why is that? Because it's that what Antiochus Epiphanes established way back in the time of the Greeks, that all should leave their religion, all should leave their custom and have one custom, right? So now everybody's celebrating Christmas, right? And it's not true, right? There's no reindeers, there's no house in the, and no one is questioning it, right? No one is saying, what is this evil thing that you have us doing? Right? No one is standing up and saying, no, we're not going to celebrate. What madness are you talking about? Reindeers don't fly through the sky. Right? What are you trying to do, fool the people? All right? Nobody questions it because it's a one world order. All right? So we're already in the midst of the one world order. The beast is already there. Right? People talking about the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast has already been administered. You waiting for the mark of the beast? It's already been administered. All right, what is the beast? Who knows what the beast is? Huh? What's the beast? Get the book of Daniels. Explain something. The book of Daniels. We're going to read about what we're reading about in Maccabees in the book of Daniels. And we're going to go to the book of Daniels and we're going to get the 8th chapter, the 21st verse. Show you something. What's happening in Maccabees was already prophesied by the prophet Daniel about this beast that was going to rise up. Let's read about it. 8 and 21 in the book of Daniels.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. Who's that? Alexander the Great. Right? He's the rough goat. Right? You know, the goat represents a goat head, 5-pointed star, the pentagram, right? We know what all that's about. That's what devil worship and things of that sort. And right, Alexander the Greek used to wear, goat's head. He didn't even know why he wore it because he was inspired through the Most High to do this wicked thing, right? So the rough goat, which is the king of Grecia, read on,
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the
Mhm.
first king.
is the first king. Read on.
Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation,
So when you read in Maccabees, you're gonna learn about the four kings that came after Alexander the Greek. Read on.
but not in his power.
All right.
And in the latter time of their kingdom,
Uh huh.
when the transgressors are come to the full,
When the what?
the transgressors are come to the full,
When they was in the midst of their wickedness and the fullness of their wickedness. All right. Read on.
a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up,
Antiochus Epiphanes. Read on.
and his power shall be mighty,
Uh huh.
but not by his own power.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall destroy wonderfully,
You shall do what?
destroy wonderfully.
And they destroyed wonderfully. Really.
And
We're still under the Greco-Roman Empire, in case you didn't know that. All right. The same Greeks that destroyed wonderfully are still in power. Read on.
and shall prosper,
And shall what?
prosper
And he's going to prosper. As you can see, they prospered. Read.
in practice,
Uh huh.
and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
And the what? The mighty and what?
Holy people.
And destroy the mighty and holy people. Who that is? That's you all, the children of Israel. You're the mighty holy people that was destroyed by the Grecians, right? Destroyed by the so-called white man. All right. So this is all prophesied in the Bible to go down this way. Right? Read on.
And though his policy also he, Salaki, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper
Mm-hmm.
in his hand.
Right? Through his policies. So he set up policies that you stay in a oppressed state. Okay. He set up rules and of engagement that we don't rise up and become a people again. He made sure that any way we could have rose up was taken away. Right? Read on.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart,
Mm-hmm.
and by peace shall destroy many.
By what?
By peace shall destroy many.
That's what you gotta think about, because the so-called white man, he's always talking about how peaceful and peace, right? But through his peace, he destroys many, right? He's covert, right? He's not going to say, "I'm gonna come kill you," but he's going to come kill you. But he's going to talk to you nicely about it, right? He's going to send his armies in. He's going to have embargoes and no-fly zones. He's going to set up tariffs. He's going to set up, he's going to cause you to have disease, but don't give you the medicine and watch you die, right? This is the power that we up against. I hope you understand the level of evil that we're up against. It goes all around the earth doing these evil acts, right? Causes poverty and holds back the money. It has the money there, tells you to take insurance, but then something happens and don't want to give you the money, right? What happened to the insurance, right? I need the money now. I ain't giving he's not going to give you anything, right? Huh? Yeah, it lab store. This event is not a qualifying event. He'll come up with any kind of madness, right? Or why he ain't got to give you the money, right? Because through his policies, he learned to oppress people through policy. And when you complain about it, they say, "Well, sir, that's the policy, right? It's the policy, and that's supposed to shut you up, right? Now it's supposed to be right because it's the policy. What do you mean it's the policy, right?"
You said that the man said that he destroyed by making peace.
Uh huh.
I thought about what Jesus said when he said, "I did not come to make peace,
Right.
but to make war."
Yeah, because he was Christ was straightforward what his agenda was. But this white man, he's not straightforward with his agenda. He's going to tell you he love you, right? And he's going to tell you he care for you, and he's going to feed you poison, right? As he tells you he love you and care for you. That's the power. That's what we up against. Before he would just be straightforward and just tell us that he hate us. He ain't going, no. Racism is wrong. But I'm going to be racist right in front of you while I say racism is wrong. I'm going to say racism is wrong, and I'm going to bring your children to my schools, and I'm not going to teach them about themselves, even though I do have all this information. But racism is wrong, right? But I'm going to teach them about me and how great I am. But I'm not going to be racist about it. Well, you got to sit back and look back and say, wait a minute, you saying you're not racist, but everything you doing is of a racist kind of nation. I mean, what higher level of white supremacy is Santa Claus, right? Is that what you painting for our children to say that we're gonna wait for some fat white man to come bring us something that we want? That is a covert white supremacist act, right? That it is disrespectful, to us as a people to sit there. We're gonna wait for our slave master to come give us a present, right? At the end of the year, for his white God, for his white Jesus that he gives you, right? Baby Jesus, right? Because they didn't, the Catholics push baby Jesus. They don't push grown Jesus. That's the Christians. I mean, you gotta check it out, right? Baby Jesus will be baby forever with the Catholic Church. Why? Because it's not about the baby, it's about the mother. In Catholic, it's about Mary, the mother of God, right? That's when you go into Catholicism. They worship Mary, mother of God. And the baby, the mother and the baby, they don't worship so much Christ. So when you check out all these theologians, you realize, man, this thing is so twisted, right? But it's all come from Greek mythology, right? Women having babies without a husband, right? That's Greek mythology, right? That's how Zeus came about. That's how Hercules came about, right? Why? Because it's all Greek mythology. It's not true. Christ had a father and a mother, right? Joseph and Mary came together and birthed Christ, right? Don't believe the hype, right? So these things are all fed to us through religion. And we got to get our root all those out of our spirit and come back to reality, right? The Most High is dealing with reality. So I began to talk about the beast. I want to lose touch of what I was saying. So what are the beasts? Actually, what the beasts were. So now let's go to. So Daniel's is talking about different kingdoms. He talked about the Grecians coming into power and destroying the holy people through peace, destroying many, and through their policies. Now give me Daniel's 7th chapter and the 15th verse.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 15. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall rise out of the earth.
Right.
And the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom,
right,
and possess the kingdom forever,
right,
even forever and ever.
Right. So ultimately we're gonna fight back, and we're gonna get our kingdom back. Right. We're gonna get our king back, and we're gonna possess it forever and forever. We gotta get past these beasts. Right. We gotta get past these beasts. What are these beasts? Jump down to the 23rd verse.
Verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth.
Shall be the what?
Fourth kingdom upon the earth.
These beasts are kingdoms. So when it says the mark of the beast, it's talking about the mark of a kingdom. What is a kingdom? We live in a kingdom right now, right? It's a society, right? A kingdom is a society. It's a rulership, all right? We now live in a kingdom. We're still in that fourth beast. We're still under the auspices of that same beast that took us down in the time of the Maccabees, the Greco-Roman Empire, which then became the European, which now become the American. All right, it's the same group of people. All right, it's the same bloodlines. All right, it's the same attributes. All right, it's Esau's rulership. All right, it started with the Greeks. It's ending with America. Okay, so we're in the end of his rulership. All right, read on.
Which shall be diverse from all kingdoms.
Right, it shall be diverse from every other kingdom that rule this earth. The white man's kingdom is different than any other kingdom that ruled the earth, because every other kingdom they ruled apart. They had a land, they had a people, they had a peace, and they basically established their way in this one zone. He ain't stop here. He trying to rule everything, everywhere. He's trying to go to outer space. He's trying to do all kind of stuff, right? He's trying to rule the animal kingdom, right? Read on.
And shall devour the whole earth.
And shall do what?
Devour the whole earth.
What kingdom you knew devoured the whole earth other than the so-called white man? right? The Babylonians ruled in Babylon. They didn't go all around the whole earth, right? The Persians in Persia, they might have spread a little bit through the Middle East and things of that sort. They didn't go everywhere. Everybody else ruled a certain section, place at a certain time. But the white man's kingdom, it's over the whole earth. If there's a part of this earth that he don't got yet, he working on it. Right? He working on it. Right? Read on.
And shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
Right. And tread down everywhere and broke everywhere in pieces. Read.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom.
The what?
The 10 horns out of this kingdom.
Let's see what these horns represent. Come on.
Are 10 kings.
Are 10 what?
10 kings.
Come on.
That shall arise.
So now look in the white man's kingdom. The white man's kingdom is not just one country, is it? Right? The white man's kingdom is America, Germany, France, Spain, Norway, England. Right? When you check it out, it's 10 kingdoms. It's called the 10 common markets. Right? He calls it the 10 common markets. It's right in front of our faces. We in the beast. We see it every day. Right? Esau's kingdoms. Right? Sweden, Finland, all these places, Spain, that's why Spain, France. You go through all that, you're gonna come up with 10. Right? These are the 10 common markets, the 10 bankers, the international bankers. They all work together to establish this kingdom. Right? People talk about the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, right? That's all part of these 10 common markers. It's 10 that they all get together, world powers, to make decisions. Okay? They make decisions. All right? Of course. Of course. They are the Greeks. It ain't even a connection. Yes. Yes. Because they're all Esau. Right? The Greeks are Esau. Who do we look to see? We look on, we go on, we look at the news, and we look at what's going on in the White House, right? Who's there? Right? Who's in there in control, making things happen? What? Esau, the same Greeks that was there in the time of Antiochus, the same people. Right? Nobody else came into power. The Greco-Roman Empire, that's why I call it the Greco-Roman Empire, because they split into two kingdoms, the Romans and the Greeks, but they were the same people. They were just two families of the same people. And then when they had their time during 300 BC, they meshed, they fought, but the Romans came out on top, right? So, but that's why they ended up calling it the Greco-Roman Empire, to show that there's a connection between the two. Okay, so we're in Rome. We're still in Roman Empire. Read on. Daniels.
What was it, 20?
10 horns. We're 24.
24.
Uh-huh.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise.
Mm-hmm.
And another shall rise after them.
Uh-huh.
And he shall be diverse from the first.
Uh-huh.
And he shall subdue 3 kings.
Right.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Uh-huh.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
And shall do what?
Wear out the saints of the Most High.
So now we're talking about the establishing of America. Okay. The 11th, right? The power that wore out the saints of the Most High, that put the saints of the Most High in chains and captivity, bound us up, right? That's talking about America, right? Read on.
And think to change times and laws.
Right, they think to change times and laws. That's why they have what? Daylight saving time. They change the laws, They constantly, their law never stays one way. They flipping the law. You can't follow them for too long because their law book it evolves. They have a law for this person, a different law for that person. If both people committed the same crime, there's a different law now all of a sudden. Why is that? Because he thinks to change times and laws, right? This is the Bible giving us attributes for us to know who we're coming up against, all right? I'd appreciate you want to, all right. Go ahead.
Salagi. And think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times in the dividing of time.
Right. So that's a dispensation of time. It said for the times, and the dividing of times. So that understanding is 350 years, right? Times, and the dividing of times. All right. So the 50 is the dividing of the time. The time is a year, is 100 years. Times is 200 years. All right. So 350 years. Read on.
Verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
But the judgment shall sit,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall take away his dominion.
They shall what?
Take away his dominion.
See, but the Most High says, don't worry, because we're going to take away his dominion. He may have power now, but it's going to be taken away from him. Read on.
To consume and to destroy it unto
Mhm.
the end.
Come on.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven
Uh-huh.
shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High,
That's right. Read on.
whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom,
Read on.
and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
Come on.
Hitherto is the end of the matter.
Did you hear that, brother? All kingdoms going to serve and obey you. So when you say what's going to happen to the other people, they're going to have to serve and obey you. All right. Read on.
As for me, Daniel,
Mhm.
my cogitations
Mhm.
much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept that the matter in my heart.
Right. He said him seeing all that's going to happen on the earth, man, he could tell he was going through it. Daniel, he was like, man, you showed me a lot. I don't know how to deal with this. Right? His countenance was changed. He said, man, I feel funny about seeing how people are going to suffer, but they're going to win in the end. We're going to get it in the end. Most High promised it to his people. He said his saints going to rise again. Right? We shall possess the kingdom forever and ever and even forever. So we're understanding, right? Now go back to the book of Maccabees, that these things were prophesied by Daniel's, but this is the beginning of it that we're reading about in Maccabees. This is the Greeks coming into power, establishing their way. Once we see what their ways are, we know we're living under their ways till this very day. Nothing has changed. He wants a one world order, right? Democracy and Christianity. We're reading about that. Go back to 1 and 41. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41.
Right?
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people,
right?
And every one should leave his laws,
right?
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Come on.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Read on.
And sacrificed unto idols.
And did what?
And sacrificed unto idols.
Gave themselves unto idols. We talked about the dumb idols, right? He said, it speaketh not. Was that tree, the Christmas tree? It don't speak, it's dumb, it's an idol. It's worthless. But many of our people sacrifice onto it to this day, right? They bring their gifts to it. They go bring it to their house. They deck it with silver and gold. That's how they sacrifice onto it. They give their time to it, right? Read on.
And profane the Sabbath.
And they profane the Sabbath. They got time for the Sabbath day. They got Christmas shopping to do. Read on.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem.
Come on.
And the cities of Judah.
Read.
And they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
Right. So we were already being held back from doing what? Our burnt offerings, right? Our meat offerings. The Greeks already tried to take that away from us. What? Serving our God. They said you're forbidden to do that. You're forbidden to serve your God, to do what is pleasing to your God. Read on.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols.
Right.
And sacrifice swine's flesh.
Sacrifice what?
Swine's flesh.
So now every time when you see that table and they got that Christmas party and they got that food, what's on that table right there? You know swine's flesh is on that table, right? That ham, right? You gotta have the ham, honey glazed, right? 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 They got to be out there. Why? Because they got to sacrifice that swine's flesh. Because if they don't sacrifice the swine's flesh, it's not truly desecrated. They have to make sure it's defiled. That's why that custom is put out there. You say, why we always got to have ham? Because we must defile your temple. Remember, you're supposed to keep your temple dedicated. So their job is to defile your temple. So this is why they have to feed you this ham. So that you're defiled, right? Make sure you're defiled, right? That you don't. So remember, we were forbidden to serve our God. That's the root of these customs, right? The forbidding of us to serve the God. Read.
And unclean beasts.
Another unclean beasts, other unclean foods. You know.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised,
right?
And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
To the end.
To the end, they might forget the law.
They might forget what?
Forget the law.
Did we not forget the laws? Did our parents remember that we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments? No, they didn't teach us that. They said all you got to do is love Jesus, man. Go to church and, pick me up, a honey baked ham from the spot. Right? So this is what they forgot all the laws of the Most High. So it worked. Right? The plot was put in play and it worked. All right, read.
And change all the ordinances.
And change what?
All the ordinances.
And change on and say, oh no, you don't gotta believe, you don't gotta keep those laws. You don't gotta do all those things. Read on.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
He should what?
He should die.
So this custom of not keeping our commandments is before Christ. Christ, remember, we read in the book of Maccabees, Christ has not walked the earth yet. All right, this is prior to that time period of Christ. This is right before that time period. This is still the Greek rulership. When Christ walked, the Romans were in power. So the Greco-Roman Empire switched over to the Romans in the time of Christ. Herod is ruling, right? So here we're under the Greeks right now. And they already had established everything that we learned about in Christianity before Christ was even born. Okay? To show you that Christ has nothing to do with Christianity. Right? That law, that lawless love, that lawless worship comes all the way back from the Greek rulership. Okay? For somebody to tell you that they don't keep the laws because of Christ, they're lying. Right? You don't keep the laws because the white man forbade us from keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why you don't keep the law. That's why the church don't teach the law. That got nothing to do with Christ. People wasn't keeping the law up until Christ and then stopped then. They already was breaking the laws of commandments when Christ was walking the earth. Why do you think he kept trying to teach the people? What was he trying to tell the people? What was all this teaching about that Christ was doing? Why did Christ need to come? Because we were so righteous? No, we was not keeping the commandments when Christ came. Why did they kill him? Right? Why did they sacrifice if we was doing what's right? We wasn't doing what was right. We were talking a good talk, but we wasn't doing what was right. Right? So that thought pattern that Christ came to take away commandments is false, totally false. The commandments was already taken away by the Greeks. Right? So then this caused our people to rise up. Jump to 2:1. Maccabees 2:1. Looking at the time, so we're going to just get a few more.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 1.
In
those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons: Jonan, called Cades, Simon, called Thesai, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, called Avaron, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphis. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah, in Jerusalem, he said, "Woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers."
Right. So what? Everything was taken over by the enemy. Who's the enemy? The Greeks. The Greeks are our enemies. Right. Well, so when we say that the so-called white man is our enemy, they get upset. They say that we are separatists or something like that. But we understand our history. We understand who our enemy is because historically, you're the one that took everything from us. So wouldn't you be our enemy? You're not for our good. You're not for our prosperity. That's why you're our enemy, right? You teach our young people that they were slaves and then you made them better, right? You don't teach them that they was ruling the earth. They had their own land, their own God, their own society, their own economics. We had it all our own. You don't teach them that. You teach them that we made you better. You were in Africa swinging from a vine. We brought you over here. We civilized you. Right? And they do it with a straight face and say they're not being racist when all of that is lies. Right? It's all lies. It's all propaganda. It's all to get you have a subservient attitude and not rise up against him. Right? Take away your sense of nation. Right? Your sense of nation, your patriotism. Right? So if you're going to be a patriot, you can only be a patriot to America. Because where's your nation? Who's your people? They say you're from Africa. Africa where? What nation? Ghana, right? I don't know. Libya, right? Who knows, right? You don't know. You don't know because it's not true. It's a lie, right? If somebody tell you, it's like all of a sudden when a white man says something, we don't understand what a lie sound like, right? You know what I mean? And we can't lie to each other. We always know when somebody lying. If somebody try to tell you something, yeah, man, this cat lying. Right? You already know he lying, right? But the story don't make sense. It's too vague. I'm trying to say where was you at? You was out over there. Over there where? Well, behind there, over there in the corner there. You know you lying, man. You ain't trying to tell me where you was at. So the white man come tell us that we from Africa. You tell him where, he tell you over there. And you believe him. You go over there looking for yourself. Right? Put on kente cloth and go look for your people. You ain't from over there. That's not where you from. That's not your nationality. Right? It's not your nationality. You made it up. A lot of our people, they couldn't find it, so they just made it up. We can't find where you're from. So I guess we're from Ethiopia. Why not? It's a nice place. Ancestry.com. Yeah. Yeah, they would say that. That Ancestry.com is just another ploy to feed their same rhetoric that they've been feeding all over the earth, that one world order spirit. They're going to take anybody, take the Ancestry.com, they're going to mix you up with a whole bunch of people because they don't want you to believe that you're still a people. Right? They want you to believe that, oh, yes, see this mix and you got Japanese and you all kind of damn things in you. Right? Exactly. It's a ploy. Just give them something. But let me tell you that you all mixed up. So this way you can't be patriot to nobody. You can't be dedicated to anything because now you think everything is in you. So who are you going to be dedicated to? What side you going to stand on? You can't stand on the side. That's where he wants you. He wants you in limbo so that he can give you a side to stand on. He don't want you to connect with your roots. Just like they said, for everyone to leave their own customs, to leave their own laws, to leave their own heritage, to leave their own culture and assimilate to a new culture. He has to take away your foundation for you to do that. Because if you have a foundation, you always have some place to go back to. All right? You always have some place to reconnect to. Right? He can't do this to the Chinese man because China's right there. Right? And when everything else fails, the China man, he get his money, he get his wealth, he go establish something in China. Go back to China. The Japanese man go back to Japan. East Indian go back to India, right? They go back to establish something, right? Where they still have influence and control, right? Their own people have influence and control. Where can we go? We have influence and control. Nowhere. Not in the Caribbean. The Caribbean is the biggest hoax of them all. Because they really think they got their own land out there. Oh, it's Jamaica. Jamaica, we don't go for that. The white man runs Jamaica. Right? The parliament runs Jamaica. What are you talking about? Right? We're going to go to Trinidad. We're going to go to Guyana. Where are you going to go? You can't escape them. Right? All those lands is ran by the Europeans. The tourist places, man. Right? There's little strongholds, little camps, concentration camps, like to call them, right? To further our minds, right? They push that Afro simplicity out there too, right? And our people think that they from Africa. They think the same garbage they feed us here, they feed them out there. You go out there, you try to talk to them, they saying the same rhetoric that you learned up here. And you're like, the same person is teaching y'all that taught us the same lies. You got no more information than I have. Why is that? You're thousands of miles away and you got no more information than I have. Somebody's doing this, right? Somebody's doing it. But the Most High, he's intervening. He's bringing us back, right? We're rededicating our temple to the Most High. Now, I know I said I'm going to go into Hanukkah. And we went into so many different things. Spirit is moving. I'm going to, for a process of time, I'm going to jump to the 4th chapter. I want you to get this understanding before we close out tonight so you understand how to go about establishing your spirit for the Hanukkah. Get the 4th chapter and give me the 38th verse.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 38.
We're going to go over it On the day of the Hanukkah, we're going to go over the story a little more in depth. I just want to give you a preparation for it so you can kind of get your mind right. Don't believe in Esau's hype. Don't go get a candle menorah and light one candle a day and all that foolishness, because that's not of the Most High. Right? When you get your menorah, it's going to be 7 candles. You light the whole thing for 8 days. All right, let's read.
Verse 38.
Mm-hmm.
And when they saw the sanctuary desolate and the altar profaned
Right?
and the gates burned up,
So that we finally fought against our enemies and now we got our temple back. And we walked into the temple, this is what we saw. It was desolate and profaned. Read.
and shrubs growing in the courts as in a forest,
Right. So nobody was caring for it. You know, when you have pavers down and you don't care for it, here comes the grass coming right through your pavers. Read on.
or in one of the mountains. Yea, in the priest's chambers pulled down.
Mm-hmm.
They rent their clothes and made great lamentation.
First, they cried when they saw how bad their temple looked. Huh?
And cast ashes upon their heads.
Right. And they lamented to the Most High. Come on.
And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces.
Read.
And blew in alarm with the trumpets.
They did what?
Blew in alarm with the
They
trumpets.
blew these trumpets, man, to alert the people. Something has to happen. Read on.
And cried toward heaven.
Come on.
Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary.
Right. So there's a few lingerers and scattered that was hiding. They made sure they rooted out those fools first. Right. We can't have them amongst us, in the midst of us. We're trying to rebuild. We're trying to become a nation. We're trying to set things right. The first thing I do is get all the imposters away from us. Right. Read on.
So he chose priests of blameless conversation.
That's right. Come on.
Such as had pleasure in the law.
That's right. So you're going to have righteous men rise up and fight. Right. Read on.
Who cleans the sanctuary and bear out of the defiled stones into an unclean place.
Right.
And when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them.
Right. So
Because
they were burning swine's flesh all over our stuff. So they had to pull down all our altars. We had to take away everything, throw it out to get and rebuild it new. Read on.
Because the heathen had defiled it. Wherefore they pulled it down and laid up the stones in the mountains of the temple in a convenient place until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them.
Read.
Then they took whole stones according to the law and built a new altar according to the former and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple and hollowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels and into the temple they brought the candlestick and the altar of burnt offerings.
They go to candlestick. They brought the candlestick and the offer and the altar of burnt offerings. Read on.
And of incense in the table.
Right. Had the frankincense and myrrh. Come on, right on the table. Read on.
And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, and that they might give light in the temple. Right. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the veils.
So they had the showbread. They put the veils back up. They reset the temple the way it was. Read on.
And finished all the works which they had begun to make.
Come on.
Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month of Casliu.
Right. So the 9th month, the 25th day of the 9th month. Read on. That's the 25th day of the 9th month. Read on.
In the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings.
Come on.
Which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it.
Right.
Even in that was it dedicated with songs.
With what?
With songs.
So it was dedicated with songs. So what did we do? We came together. We built back our temple. We got it right. And we dedicated with what? With song. We sung to the Most High. We praise the Most High. Right? Read on.
And citherns.
And cisterns, right? Which is instruments. Read on.
And harps.
Read.
And cymbals.
Come on. Drums and harps and cymbals. We praise the Most High in the temple. Read on.
Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the Most High of heaven.
Come on.
Who had given them good success.
Read.
And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days.
How many days?
8 days.
How many days we're gonna keep it?
8 days.
8 days, right? We're gonna dedicate ourselves 8 days. We're gonna sing for 8 days. All right. Make sure y'all singing now. Call you up. We're gonna sing together. All right. Let's read.
And offered burnt offerings with gladness.
Because we don't offer burnt offerings anymore. What offering do we sacrifice ourselves, right? We do a living sacrifice according to Romans 12, right? Read on.
And sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked
We
also
sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. So we prayed about the Most High delivering us from our enemies. We celebrated the thought of the Most High delivering us from our enemies. So this is what should be on our mind for these 8 days, that the Most High had delivered us from our enemies and can deliver us once again. This is what the Hanukkah is about. It's about deliverance, right? They call it the Festival of Lights because the menorah burnt, for the 8 days. But it's more than that. It's about our deliverance. It's about us conquering our enemies. So that's the spirit that's upon you on the Hanukkah. Read on.
They decked also the forefront of the temples with crowns of gold.
Crowns of gold, right? They put crowns like showing their kingship. Read on.
And with shields.
And what?
With shields.
And with shields, right? What is a shield used for? It's for defense, right? So what we're celebrating the military might of our people as they were able to defeat their enemies. Read on.
And the gates and the chambers they renewed. And hanged doors upon them.
Come on.
Thus was there very great gladness among the people. For that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season,
right,
from year to year,
right,
by the space of 8 days.
Come on.
From the 25th day of the month Caslu,
right,
with mirth and gladness.
Right.
At that time also they builded up the Mount Sion.
So what's mirth? Happiness, laughter. It's supposed to be kept with mirth and gladness. It's not supposed to be. We're not going to be upset on the Hanukkah. We're coming out to have a great time, right? It's starting Friday sundown. We're going to have it. You have the address to that venue? I like to let people know, right? We're going to enjoy it. It's going to be full of laughter, full of music, full of mirth, full of food and praise and all that we do when we come together, because we're celebrating victory on that day. Victory is what we're celebrating. So it's a spirit of being victorious, through the power of the Most High and the might that He puts in our hands. So that's what Hanukkah is about. It's about being victorious and about us, overcoming our enemies. So they ordained for 8 days we to celebrate this. Read on. Okay, read on.
With high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down.
Right, come on.
As they had done before. And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortified Beth Surah to preserve it.
So not only did they celebrate the fact they got their temple back, but they secured it. All right, so you get your temple back now, right? Most High woke you up, bring it out. You got to secure it too. Right? Make sure that you take away everything that could infiltrate and cause you to go astray. Now that you dedicated to the Most High, what's that address you got, brother? 973 Rock Island, North Lauderdale. Yeah, put that in the group. What's the name of it or anything like that? No, okay. So the Hanukkah is going to be held at 973 Rock Island Road in North Lauderdale. All right, 973 Rock Island Road in North Lauderdale. We're putting it in the chat now for those that are online. So that's where it's going to be held Friday, 7. All right, Friday at 7 p.m. Be there at 7, and we're gonna enjoy this Hanukkah. We're gonna celebrate. We ain't worried about no Christmas, no New Year's, none of that foolishness, because we are gonna be celebrating the Most High's Day. We got something to celebrate. We don't gotta celebrate their foolishness, right? In fact, I believe on December 25th is the new moon. So we're gonna have a celebration right here on December 25th, which is gonna be the new moon celebration. All right. So that evening of the 25th, we'll be here 7 o'clock again, and we'll be celebrating the new moon. So, Johnny, it's your first time here. You see, this is what we do. All right, there's only a few people here right now, but this place fills up. Right, it'd be standing room only. Right, during the week, everybody's busy. They got their responsibilities. So we have a lot of brothers online. How much people we got online? How much? We got 48 people online logged into the spirit. Hallelujah, all praises. So, this is what it's about. We coming together as a body, as a temple, as a house where the Spirit of the Most High dwells. We got that clear through the scriptures, and we're going to dedicate that temple. We're going to dedicate the gathering of Israel. Okay, the gathering of our people together. We're going to finish off with Zephaniah 2 verse 1, last verse for the night. Zephaniah 2 verse 1. So celebrate in your homes. Put menorah up in your homes. All right. Put shields up, put crowns up, right? Put swords up, right? Anything that represents victory, right? Put the word victory up. Put represent what Hanukkah is about. Put your menorah up, right? That's what Hanukkah is about. All right. So make sure when you do decorate your place that you decorate it according to what Hanukkah is about. Not the festival that Esau tries to push, but the real Hanukkah. Okay, the real Hanukkah. Right. So now the way and understand the trumpets, right? It's a representation of the Hanukkah. The trumpets being blown. Right. There should be mirth and gladness and food and music all week long in the midst of you. Because this is your time of victory. This is your time to celebrate, right? This is a patriotic holiday for us. So Esau have his 4th of July, right? I said that the way I want to say it too, the 4th of July, right? Right, because ain't nothing but a lie, right? He's patriotic on that, right? We're gonna be patriotic on our Hanukkah. We're gonna celebrate Judas Maccabeus, right? And his mighty men that got that victory for the children of Israel, right? We're gonna celebrate Matthias Maccabeus, right? His father that started the revolt. Okay, we're going to remember them. We're going to remember what they did and how they did it, how valiant they were. All right, we didn't go into it tonight, but we're going to go into it on the Hanukkah, how they were able to defeat armies that was 10 times their size and get them to run away from us. And then we went out to war and we didn't lose no men in the war. If 1,000 went out, 1,000 came back. Right? Where you hear that at, right? Esau, he don't even go to war. He had friendly fire. He be at practice and dying, right? Talking about friendly fire. He ain't no enemy here. Why are you guys killing each other, right? Because he don't have the Most High ain't with him, right? He ain't with him, but when the Most High is with you, you can't fail. You're gonna get the victory. Read that verse, last verse. Friendly fire, right? Oops, that's what you should call it. Don't. Zephaniah 2 verse 1.
All right, this is the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Come on.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a chaff,
right?
Before the fierce anger of the Most High come upon you.
Right, so you might have realized, he said before. Don't waste time with gathering together. Gather together now. Don't procrastinate. Come together with your brothers, your sisters that's in the spirit before the Mashiach Yahushua is sent to establish our kingdom. We can't wait for the Most High to gather together. We got to gather together right now, right? And be that righteous household where the Most High dwells in the midst of us. Read on.
Before the day of the Most High's anger come upon you.
Right, before the day of the Most High anger come upon us. And with that, I'm going to say, Imagine Wapanya Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem. And we're going to send up the closing prayer and the Lord's Prayer, Baba Kusha, Captain. All right. I'm going to blow the horn to signify the closing of the service.
This is the Lord's Prayer in English, the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, Tawada Tam Yad, Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Get them all side hand. Hallelujah. All right. All right. Again, for those online and those that are here, 973 Rock Island Road, North Lauderdale, Hanukkah, Friday, sundown. Don't miss it. All right. Make sure you're there in attendance. $20 is the donation that's being asked for. $20 donation. All right. You don't feel like you're limited to $20. If you want to give more, go right ahead. All right. But $20 is the donation that we're asking for brothers and sisters to bring. That helps us, with the preparation and the, paying for all that we need to pay for to make that feast happen. So, just a donation. If you don't have it, come anyway. Of course, it's a donation. It's not a fee. All right, but if you can bring that $20, it'd be greatly appreciated. And with that, say shalom to everyone that's logged in. We got 40 shalom, so I'm not going to go through each person, but I would say shalom. And you could also cash app us the funds at $THEELOZ. That's capital THEELOZ on the cash app. That's a way that we receive funds. If you have PayPal, you can see the Light of Zion written out on the PayPal. What's that? Yeah, $THEELOZ. All right, on the Cash App. All right, and PayPal is the Light of Zion written out at our Gmail. .com. So if you want to send through through that way, and all praises to Yahweh. Shalom to everybody that's logged in. And get prepared today. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate for the Hanukkah. All those bringing dishes and things of that sort, bringing food or drinks. Get prepared now. And also for the new moon coming on the 25th at even, get prepared now for these things so that we can have a glorious feast. Hallelujah. Shalom. You gotta get that one back. Those are just loaders.